Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 389 based on novel. So let's start. This dream was very deep, so much so that it was impossible to separate it from reality. Before Wang Lin, there was fog. Some elongated light sources inside the fog quickly flashed by. Wang Lin was only an invisible soul as he wandered the foggy world in a daze. He slowly moved and gradually dissipated, until one day his soul would completely disappear and would cease to exist. He was very cold, and the cold was intense as it spread across his soul. He had moved for an unknown amount of time. There was no sun or moon or even the concept of time. It was different from the outside world. As he moved forward, Wang Lin gradually realized that the light moving within the fog contained the metal, wood, water, fire, and earth elements. They gave him a very familiar feeling, as if all 5 elements felt very familiar to him. This is the world of the heaven-defying bead: 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Wang Lin didn't know how much time had passed, but his soul didn't dissipate. During these countless years, a warm, blood-red light would sometimes come from all directions and dispel the coldness within Wang Lin. This gradually nourished his soul, causing him to slowly turn from transparent to half-corporeal. The confusion surrounding Wang Lin gradually dissipated as the blood-light nourished him. He looked around and gradually remembered many things, including the world he saw almost 2,000 years ago. I collected the 5 elements here, Wang Lin silently pondered when the confusion dissipated. A feeling of awakening washed over him, only to find that after awakening, he was still in a dream. He silently felt his surroundings and looked back. During this unknown amount of time of wandering, he had entered deep into the heaven-defying bead. Now he was unable to find his way back. Even if he found it, there was no path out. He seemed to be trapped here and would have to wait for an eternity. WANO is also here. Wang Lin was used to being lonely, used to being the only person in the world. He felt no discomfort here. However, I remember that I have already collapsed everything. Why did I appear here? Wang Lin frowned as he looked at his body and revealed a bitter expression. He saw his body in a half-transparent state. It was obvious he was only a soul. He also saw the warm blood light coming from all directions nourishing him, allowing him to get rid of his confusion and for his soul to take shape. This blood light is, Wang Lin was stunned as he watched the blood light enter his body and give him a warm feeling. However, no matter what, he couldn't think of what the blood light was. Could it be a mysterious force within the heaven-defying bead that can nourish the soul? Wang Lin pondered for a moment. It seemed like only this answer could explain everything. However, he felt like there was something wrong. Just as he was about to think about it more, a whisper suddenly came from the distance inside this dream. Here? Here? Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. This whisper entered his ears and turned into a ripple that echoed inside his soul. Staring ahead, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. This voice is strange. It can shake the soul. I'm the owner of the heaven-defying bead, so I want to see what this voice is. After pondering for a bit, Wang Lin slowly moved forward. He didn't move fast, and because he was only a soul, he moved like a breeze floating forward. He entered the fog and disappeared. Wang Lin moved faster and faster. As he moved forward, he clearly felt the blood that was always there. The blood light chased after Wang Lin and nourished his soul, causing that warm feeling to become stronger and stronger. What is this blood light? As Wang Lin moved forward, he frowned. He couldn't think of the origin of this blood light. As he moved forward, his speed was faster than lightning. He broke through the fog with a thunderous rumble. Now he moved countless times faster than when he was confused. The fog was pushed back and immediately collapsed before Wang Lin's speed. Wang Lin pierced his way through. Time slowly passed. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Wang Lin continued to fly. He was a soul and used no origin energy. This was the heaven-defying bead, and he was its owner, so he was like a fish in water. As he moved forward, the fog became thinner. Throughout these years, the bloodlight didn't stop at all, continuing to nourish Wang Lin's soul. This caused his soul to no longer be transparent, it had turned corporeal. However, Wang Lin could feel that although this bloodlight was still warm, it was weakening and gradually becoming cold. An unknown amount of time had passed. As Wang Lin flew throughout the years, the whisper would come and become more and more clear. Here. Here. Wang Lin moved faster and faster. On this day, he suddenly stopped and stared ahead. Before him, within the thin fog, a heaven-piercing door suddenly appeared. Wang Lin was no stranger to this door, he had seen it several times. This large door stood in the heaven-defying bead and was boundless. Anyone who stood before it would have the illusion they were an ant. At this moment, as Wang Lin closed in, the giant, stone door rumbled and slowly opened. A giant crack opened, causing a thunderous rumble. Here. Here, the voice came from the crack, and it was even more clear. At this close distance, the voice passed into Wang Lin's ears like ripples and caused his origin soul to distort. It indeed is him. Wang Lin's pupils shrank as he stared at the stone door and became silent. He had thought of some guesses about the voice during these several years and naturally thought of the door that appeared from the heaven-defying bead. Seeing it now, although he was shocked, it was a surprise. As he was being nourished by the bloodlight over the years, his origin soul had become even more solid, and he had regained more memories. He remembered the jade that suddenly appeared in his battle with Daoist Water. He also remembered what Daoist Water exclaimed. This jade was the jade of the sealed realm, and it was something that belonged to Daoist Water's master. Wang Lin had always been confused about something, and now he vaguely had an answer. What he was puzzled about was why the white-haired boy wanted to kill him. However, now, after awakening his memory and after his battle against Daoist Water, Wang Lin had figured out that Daoist Water's master was the Lord of the Sealed Realm and the heaven-defying bead's last owner. The white-haired boy had obviously felt his master's aura and had come to kill Wang Lin. That's why, after devouring Wang Lin's blood, he said, "Not a reincarnation." Then he searched Wang Lin's soul for the heaven-defying bead. His goal was to find his master and kill him. Wang Lin had seen through all of this. That's why the white-haired boy was so alarmed and revealed endless fear when he saw the jade. The Lord of the Sealed Realm was obviously not dead. When Wang Lin's memories awakened, he clearly remembered that a finger had come out of the jade. It pressed the seven-colored nail into the white-haired boy's skull, causing him to escape with serious injuries. Here. Come in. Here, standing before the stone gate, the muttering became even more clear. It slowly swept forward and changed the world inside the heaven-defying bead. Wang Lin was calm as he stared at the stone door and slowly said, "Who are you?" After a long silence, a muttering voice came out. I'm the Lord of the Sealed Realm, the ruler of the Sealed Realm, come in. I have no malice. I won't hurt you. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He vaguely felt like there was a heaven-shaking secret inside that door. A secret related to the heaven-defying bead and a path for him to leave this place. After pondering a bit, Wang Lin no longer hesitated and flew at the door. He closed in an instant and stepped into the gap of the stone door. Cloud Sea, Rank 2 region. There was a remote wild continent hidden deep within the fog. Cultivators rarely came here, and it was a desolate place. There was a valley on this continent. Li Qianmai was sitting inside the valley, and before her was a crystal-clear statue. The stone statue was covered in blood, and the blood gradually dissipated. Li Qianmei's face was extremely pale, with no trace of blood. Her blue hair was no longer shining, and she slowly opened her eyes. There was no light in her eyes, only sadness. She raised her right hand. Her 5 fingers were cracked and dried. This was not the hand of a young woman, but the hand of an old woman. After taking off a scab that hadn't healed yet, Li Qianmei's eyes gradually lit up and became filled with determination. She began covering the stone statue in blood once more. 4 years had passed. In these 4 years, Li Qianmai hadn't left this place. She silently accompanied the stone statue and nourished it with her blood. For years ago, she only needed to cover the statue in blood and then had 10 hours to rest. For years later, the stone statue became even more shiny and required more blood. She had to cover it in blood 4 times a day, and her time to rest was less than 4 hours. "I'll awaken you," Li Qianmai looked at the stone statue. There were no tears coming out from her eyes. There was only a crack formed by tear constantly flowing. Within these 4 years, she had asked herself many times, was all of this worth it? Wang Lin didn't know any of this was going on. At this moment, he stepped into the door in the heaven-defying bead. With one step, he seemed to have entered another world. This place had an endless starry sky. There was no fog, only bright stars. It looked very beautiful. This starry sky was very, very quiet. It was also very unfamiliar to Wang Lin. "You're the third person to enter this door," the murmur echoed slowly in the starry sky. At this moment, the stars began to shine and light erupted from the endless stars. The light condensed before Wang Lin to form a starlight vortex. "Come in. The third person fated with me." Wang Lin's eyes lit up. After pondering a bit, he stepped into the vortex. The moment he entered, his soul disappeared, and when he appeared once more, what appeared before him was a blue sky and black earth. There was a planet in the door. The black earth contained grass that rustled as the wind blew. The sky was blue without any clouds. It was like the sea upside down in the air. There was a giant tree piercing the heavens before him. The tree was as tall as the heavens, and a green light was coming from the tree, but it couldn't hide the damage the tree had suffered. This giant tree seemed to have lost all life and was slowly dying as it struggled. Wang Lin looked at the giant tree before him and sucked in a breath of cold air. The murmur came from the giant tree and echoed across the world. "This tree was formed by my life Nirvana realm treasure. It is the only reason I have survived until now." Wang Lin's mind trembled as he looked at the giant tree. It was very big, enough to compete with the ancient gods. "I came from the ancient celestial realm. I have long forgotten my name. After arriving, people called me the Lord of the Sealed Realm, or Ruler of the Real Realm. Before you, 2 more people came here. I don't know their names, but to be able to enter here means they are fated with me. I gave the first person a superb Dao spell and my comprehension of the world. The second person that entered, I gave him half a body of law, making his talent shocking. You are the third cultivator to enter here. What do you want?" Wang Lin silently pondered. After a long time, he looked at the giant tree and slowly asked, "You forced Daoist water to retreat. If you hadn't found my jade, I wouldn't have been able to help you. But you found jade, so I can use it to help you a bit. That slave betrayed me, but I gave him a charm to protect him 3 times. The last time had been used, and that's why I attacked." Wang Lin suppressed the shock in his heart and calmly asked, "Why are you helping me?" Wang Lin's words caused the giant tree to become silent. After a long time, a whisper came from the old tree. A long time ago, there was no inner or outer realm in the ancient star system. In this boundless star system, there was a holy place called the ancient celestial realm. The ancient celestial realm ruled the ancient star system and caught people. All living beings, after reaching a high enough cultivation level to open their own space, could enter the ancient celestial realm and become a member of the ancient celestial realm. Everything was moving as it should, but a treasure that came from a foreign star system caused a dramatic upheaval. This upheaval caused the ancient celestial realm to split in half and dissipate. The path to ascension was closed and all passages were shut off. Due to this, the ancient star system was split into the inner and outer realms, and the sealed realm formation was created. The part of the ancient celestial realm on the outside became the holy place for the outer realm. And in the inner realm, there was the other part of the ancient celestial realm. I came from there. As Wang Lin listened to the ancient voice, shockwaves spread through his mind. This secret was known by very few people. He also never thought the inner and outer realms had such a connection. The ancient celestial realm had split in 2 and caused the ancient star system to split into the inner and outer realms. The ancient celestial realm suffered heavily under that upheaval and countless people died. Even the Celestial Emperor, who existed since the beginning, was seriously injured by that treasure. He went into closed-door cultivation and no longer asked about the outside. However, the ancient celestial realm people that went to the outer realm always eyed the inner realm under the leadership of the 9 celestial concubine. What they wanted was that treasure and the path to the ancient celestial realm. As the ancient Tao Celestial, I descended from the ancient celestial realm to rule over the inner realm to resist the outer realm's invasion and battle them. However, before I could complete my mission, I was betrayed by my Tao slave. I was seriously injured by the people of the outer realm and the ancient celestials of the outer realm. In the end, a celestial concubine attacked, destroying my body. I was forced to enter the heaven-defying bead and exist as the treasure spirit. Wang Lin's mind trembled, and he quickly asked, "What is the heaven-defying bead?" The thing that caused the huge upheaval in the ancient celestial realm, the treasure that came from a foreign star system, was the heaven-defying bead. But the real treasure was a compass. There were 9 heavenly treasures on this compass. When we got the compass, there were only 3 treasures left, and the heaven-defying bead was placed at center. The ancient celestial realm of the inner realm got the other 2. I was supposed to rule the inner and outer realms, so the Celestial Emperor had given me this bead. However, I wasn't the first owner of the heaven-defying bead. In my countless years of study, I found that there were 2 more masters of the heaven-defying bead. Each of them was far stronger than me. They must have been cultivators from a foreign star system. Also, I inferred that the heaven-defying bead was the most important part of the compass. Unfortunately, the Celestial Emperor was in closed-door cultivation, otherwise, he would have been able to break through and find the final secret of the heaven-defying bead. The location of the Ancient God Realm. Ancient God Realm. Wang Lin obtained more and more shocking secrets, each one more shocking than the last. He had just heard of the origin of the Ancient Celestial Realm and the heaven-defying bead. Now he was hearing about the Ancient God Realm. The Ancient God Realm should exist. I don't know much about it either. At present, I should be dead, but my mission isn't complete. The Celestial Emperor is still in closed-door cultivation and the Ancient Celestial Realm is still sealed. We mustn't let the outer realm people enter, otherwise, the consequences will be unthinkable. The 2 other people that entered here didn't become the masters of the heaven-defying bead, they are only my pawns. However, you are different. You made the heaven-defying bead accept you as its master, so I want to help you. I want you to become the Lord of the Sealed Realm and guard the Sealed Realm for me. Resist the invasion of the outer realm until the Celestial Emperor comes out of closed-door cultivation, until the seal to the ancient Celestial Realm opens. After I help you, I'll completely dissipate. I will turn into a Nirvana Realm treasure and fuse with the heart of the Sealed Realm formation to strengthen it and give you more time to grow. If you can complete this great task and hand the heaven-defying bead to the Celestial Emperor when he awakens, you will be greatly rewarded. All your wishes will come true, even if you wish for the woman inside the coffin to be reborn. Wang Lin suddenly raised his head and stared at the giant tree. He became silent. This person has observed me for a long time and knows everything about me. He knows my desire to resurrect Wana. He is using this to make me yield to the so-called Celestial Emperor. He wants me to hand over the heaven-defying bead once the Celestial Emperor awakens. Once I obey, I will be in complete control of the Celestial Emperor. Everything will be in his control. If he is happy, he can revive Wana, and if he isn't, he could kill us both. How could I do such a thing? However, if I want to leave, I must deal with this person. This person doesn't have ill intent towards me, he is just old-fashioned to an extreme. After Daoist Water betrayed him, he still kept his word on protecting Daoist Water 3 times, missing the chance to kill the traitor until now. Wang Lin pondered for a moment and slowly said, "What can you give me?" Just after he spoke, the giant tree trembled and a shocking pressure came out. This aura was like a storm, and it charged straight for Wang Lin. After surrounding Wang Lin, it directly pulled Wang Lin into the giant tree. I have studied the heaven-defying bead for many years. There are too many secrets in here, and I can't find them all. However, I found the ability to extract power from outside the ancient star system and imprint it on your soul. This won't make you step into the heavens, but it'll allow you to enter the Tao realm. As for what you can obtain, it will be up to you. The old voice echoed and shook the world before it gradually dissipated. Time reversed and the wheel of time was revealed. Unknowingly, autumn left and spring arrived. The sun and moon alternated and another 2 years passed. On the wild continent in the Rank 2 region, Li Qianmai had accompanied Wang Lin's stone statue for almost 6 years. 6 years was slow for mortals, but there was also the phrase, 10 years in the blink of an eye. 6 years wasn't much, but it wasn't little either. For a cultivator, 6 years was like the flick of a finger, and it would pass in an instant. However, Li Qianmai had spent these 6 years covering the stone statue in blood. These 6 years were like 600. Although she was still beautiful, she looked sickly and had become a lot more slim. However, her eyes were still filled with determination and persistence. Right now she had less than 2 hours of rest a day. She would spend these 2 hours pouring all her effort into cultivating to strive to recover more vitality before covering the statue in blood once again. Her fragile appearance was like a fallen flower. Anyone who saw her would feel heartbroken for her. Inside the valley, Wang Lin's stone statue had turned from an old man to a youth. He looked the same as he did before he turned into a stone statue. Li Qianmai silently stared at the stone statue. Every time she looked at it, she felt like Wang Lin was standing before her. "You promised me you would send me off," Li Qianmai whispered as if she was talking to herself and at the same time to Wang Lin. Her memories of Wang Lin had often appeared in her mind over the last 6 years, becoming more ingrained. However, she would sometimes ask herself why everything had become like this. She didn't understand why, but Wang Lin's figure in her heart had become even stronger. What she thought about the most and what kept going through her mind when she cultivated was the eyes of the fish in the water staring at the bird in the sky. The bird fell down once and shook its feathers. While drinking water, its gaze met with the fishes in the water. Although it was only for an instant, it seemed to last for an eternity inside Li Qianmai's mind. Is there really a past life? Li Qianmai bit her lower lip as she tore off the scabs on her 10 fingers and continued to cover Wang Lin's statue in blood. Time unknowingly passed. In the blink of an eye, another year went by. During this year, Wang Lin's stone statue began to absorb even faster. Li Qianmai only had half an hour a day to rest. She spent the rest of the time looking at the statue. Before the blood had been fully absorbed, she had to cover it again. Over and over. This year of time was almost equal to the previous 6 years combined. There wasn't much time to recover, so she could only continue this constant consumption of her vitality. The pills in her storage space had been almost all used up. She had consumed them to turn them into origin energy and restore her vitality. However, the consumption of pills couldn't compare to the vitality she used. Even more pills wouldn't help. They would be useless, because Li Qianmai had no time to digest the pills. She only had half an hour every day. If the pills interrupted her from covering Wang Lin with blood, then her 7 years of effort would be lost. Li Qianmai's face was pale and gloomy. Only her eyes still shined. She didn't think about whether it was worth it or not, she only knew that she wanted to do this, that she had to do this. There was no regret. This was enough. After covering Wang Lin's statue with blood, Li Qianmai took out a pill and quickly put it in her mouth. She used all the time she had to absorb it, and after half an hour, she gave up, allowing the pill to dissipate. She barely exchanged it for some more origin energy before forcing her own vitality to produce more blood to cover the statue. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. A woman with her tenacity, her obsession, and her determination to last 8 years. She didn't wait hundreds of years like Li Muwen or the Lonely Music, but she had the same obsession. Whether it was 8 more years or until the end of her life. You still haven't answered the third question. I still haven't heard your answer to the third question. Li Qianmai bit her lip as she continued to cover the statue in blood until the end of eternity. After 8 years, she didn't have that half hour of rest. Wang Lin's stone statue's absorption had reached a terrifying degree. The statue would absorb the blood almost as soon as it was covered, and she would have to begin covering it in blood once more. This method made her even more fragile. She had no time to rest or cultivate, and she relied on her nirvana shattera cultivation to overdraft her life force. A woman could do all of this. Asking whether it was worth it or not was blasphemy. She had lost her ability to think and stopped thinking about anything. Her memories of Wang Lin flashed in her mind and turned into a force that helped her get through the 8th year. However, the most terrifying was the 9th year. Wang Lin's stone statue's absorption had reached a terrifying degree. Often, before she even finished covering him in blood, a part that had been covered earlier would have already dissipated. This exceeded Li Qianmei's limit. Even if she used both her hands, she couldn't keep up. After discovering this, she revealed a miserable expression and didn't hesitate to bite the tip of her tongue to use her essence blood. Essence blood was very important to a cultivator. The amount one had determined everything for a cultivator. It didn't exist in the limbs, only at the tip of the tongue and the heart. One drop of blood here was equal to the entire body. After she spat out the essence blood from the tip of her tongue, her hand formed a seal and turned it into a blood mister that covered the stone statue. Only by using this method of extreme consumption could she keep up with the rapid absorption. However, every time she spat out essence blood, her face would become even more pale. She looked like only skin and bones, and her previous beauty was no longer there. However, all of this changed in the second half of the 9th year. Wang Lin's absorption rate increased, and not even the essence blood from the tip of her tongue was enough. Li Qianmei's body was extremely weak and despair appeared in her eyes. However, she clenched her teeth and waved her hand. A small silver sword appeared and she stabbed her own heart. There was still essence blood in her heart. The intense pain caused her body to tremble. However, none of this stopped her. But she became even weaker. With this unimaginable method, Li Qianmei got past the 9th year and went into the 10th year. That voice said that if I can last 10 years, there is a chance for him to awaken. Now it is the last year. Li Qianmei had changed a lot in the last 9 years. With the arrival of the 10th year, the essence blood at the tip of her tongue and her heart were no longer enough to cover the stone statue. Li Qianmei chose her origin soul Dao blood. The origin soul Dao blood was her understanding of Dao that had fused into her origin soul, a foundation. She refined it and forced it out as an aura. Although it wasn't blood, it was much more valuable, and it was Li Qianmei's everything. In this last year, Li Qianmei also hesitated. However, a hesitation turned into a blooming smile when she looked at Wang Lin's statue. Just like when they first met, her smile was extremely moving. There is another woman in your heart. I will not steal you or make you choose. I presume you must have suffered a lot for her over the years. How can I force you? It's fine if you don't care. There are always things in this world that can't be explained. I believe that if the woman in your heart came in these 9 years, she would have done the same and done it even better than me. Even if that Mu Bingmai found out about everything and came here, she would have done the same. I don't expect anything, I just want to complete that picture in my heart. You were a bird and I was a fish. Over the years, I have thought a lot and understood a lot. Perhaps it was all an illusion, but I saw a lot. In a blur, I saw you, who was a bird, land near my pond twice. Once when you came to drink and once when you were injured. I used my strength to push you from the pond to the shore so you could breathe and fly away. Li Qianmei carried a gentle smile as she looked at Wang Lin's stone statue and closed her eyes. As she closed her eyes, her origin soul began to move and a vortex appeared between her eyebrows. Dao blood flew out drop by drop and covered Wang Lin. Li Qianmei was like a fallen flower, and she continued to wither. However, this 10th year seemed extremely long, much longer than the previous 9 years. On the 9th month, she opened her eyes and looked at the stone statue. She pondered for a very long time. She gradually got up and looked at the sky as if she was seeing the scene of her previous life when she pushed the bird onto the shore. Li Qianmei gently shook her head and took the necklace with a jade on it hanging around her neck. This jade contained her life soul. She looked at the stone statue and then gently hung the necklace around the statue. Even with my everything, I can't help you get through the last 3 months. I can't do it. However, when a cultivator that goes to the battlefield in the demon sect is recognized by the demon sect, they have their soul blood extracted by a high elder. It can be stored, and once they die, they could have their soul reformed. Then they can reincarnate to cultivate again. I was recognized by the demon sect and had my soul blood extracted. I'll go the demon sect for it. Maybe it can help you get through the last 3 months. Li Qianmai looked at Wang Lin's statue, and after a long time, she withdrew her gaze. Li Qianmai took out 9 flying swords and placed them down around the valley to form a sword formation. This was her strongest treasure, and it had helped her kill countless fierce beasts on the battlefield. After placing the sword formation, Li Qianmai bit her lip. With her weakened body, she swallowed pills and left the valley for the first time in 10 years. She charged straight for the demon sect in the rank 9 region. I don't have much time, and my life soul jade can only last 1 month, so I have to get it within 1 month. It's just that soul blood won't be easy to obtain. Li Qianmai turned into a ray of light and disappeared into the stars. She couldn't take Wang Lin's statue away. 3 years ago, the statue seemed to fuse with the wild continent. After Li Qianmai left, she never came back. The last 3 months passed. Without the woman in the valley became more lonely. The roar of the fierce beasts became even more intense, and they closed in on the valley. However, with the sword formation present, all the fierce beasts that entered the valley let out miserable screams and died. The fierce beasts gradually retreated and didn't dare to approach. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. In the blink of an eye, 10 days passed. The jade Li Qianmai had left around Wang Lin's stone statue gave off a soft glow. It was as if Li Qianmai had never left and had been nourishing Wang Lin's stone statue. The jade held her warmth, her 10 years of effort, her heart, and turned into a force that accompanied Wang Lin. The 11th day, 12th day, until the 20th day. This video will end here.